All right, y'all. Playing game one. So this should be very interesting. We're finally entering the knockout stage of the Tourney. So I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited. We're hopping into this first one. We missed their first placements, but we're going to try to see if we can go through them just briefly, see where everyone's at. Still very much the early game. So let's go ahead and look at this. So in the orange, Steve is my mom. This is Steve. Steve has been with us for who knows how long, like years and years now. So absolutely love him, and a great player. Has had strong performances in a past tourney of ours. I don't know if it was the wood or the brick or one of those, but definitely had a strong set of games there, and now is in the knockout stage again, and it's good to see him. I think the first placement for him was here and here, and I think I think he went here first actually, and then here, but maybe getting to that wood, this somehow, I don't know, somehow maybe probably got the free road built up there. I don't know how he did it, but either way, very strong position for him. I think he's in a good spot, and I think for him, his next goal is going to be to get to that 3-for-1 port, but we're going to see if he is able to get there. In blue, the Mon 10, this is Alex H, and Alex H has had quite the story. He has been, his last tourney was his first Catan tourney ever, and it was with us, and he didn't do super hot, but he has been grinding, and a much better performance this time around, now making the knockout stage in the play-in games. Now remember, these players here in the play-in stages will have to win 3 games in a row to actually claim the championship, rather than the 2 games that the top 6 are afforded, with their kind of round 1 bye in a sense. Now, last player, red. This is Edva, and Edva's Dylan. Dylan has been with us for just as long as Steve, basically, and obviously love him too, and we love to see him play, and he's been a very strong player in our Catan tourneys and seasons. So it's good to see him back and in this play-in game, and we're gonna see if he can capitalize on this early start. Right, very strong setup here. Just from this starting image here, we have 4 settlements, very diverse production of every resource, and the 3-for-1 port already grabbed. And I think these ports are going to be really useful, right, in this stage of the game, where I think that truly it'll be a matter of we're going to have to see if these guys can get to some ports and become self-reliant, because these 3's games are about self-reliance a lot more than the 4's games are. It's less about trading. It's more about self-reliance. It's more about these ports. These ports are absolutely crucial when you can't trade, right? And most of these players will choose to not trade just because they'll have access to a lot of resources, and they won't necessarily want to just give an opponent an advantage, right, in any way. So we're going to see how these guys acclimate. Now, obviously, 2 insanely early cities from red. I look away once, and 2 cities just on the board, and that's just absolutely nuts. Obviously blue had the early city, but this is just crazy now. 6 to 3 to 3. 1 dev card for blue, but I don't know if it's going to be necessarily enough. The production is there, the diversity is there, the port is there. I don't know. Red is looking really good right now, but we're gonna see. Orange now buys a dev card, and the Mon wanting to trade away brick just to get some sheep or wheat, instead giving 4 brick to the bank for a sheep, and probably was trying to settle there, but couldn't quite get it done. And 2 roads built by red. Wow. So that just claims extra space, extra wheat production, extra ore production. This is great for cities. This is great for dev cards. Could definitely connect for longest road here. So if they connected, they would get to 8. So I think that's a really good spot for them to be in. And this 10 ore is being hit, and I agree with that. Just solo block red all day here. 11 cards for orange. Let's see if they can do something here. Hopefully they survive. I'm going to try to build on this 3-for-1 port as they can. And does make it through. This 11 hits, and they're probably going to road and settle, and they do. That's perfect for them. That's exactly what they wanted. Now they need to city. And another settle here for blue, so they're fighting back. They're getting the resources that they need. And sometimes it comes down to the dice rolls, right? We don't know. Every player is so strong that at some point it is a matter of luck. You just have to be in the right position at the right time and put yourself in the best position that you can. And that's all you can ask for. And connecting here does orange, and that really challenges red here for longest road. And we're going to see if they can hold on to it. This is only 6, right? If red is able to connect here with their two settlements here, then that'll put them in really good shape, I think, in the long run. And the 9 week getting hit here, I'm not sure I agree with, actually. If I'm orange, I think I just want to soul block the red on the 10 or the 4 brick if I want to challenge longest road. It's looking like they don't want to. They built for an efficient settlement on the 2-for-1 wood, but it's win or go home, right? So I think here, if you're in a position to challenge red for longest road, you should try to do it. The downside here, right, is if you build this efficient settlement, that's great, but you need to city then, and then you're kind of bottlenecked. Blue here, settling. So these are expensive settlements, right? 3 rows between these settlements, and 4 rows actually. In fact, if you think about that 311 sticking out. Oh, but not as inefficient as I thought. But still, 3 rows for those 2 settlements is very expensive, and it makes sense. Now you have the wheat port, and you want a city on the wheat spot, but you're still hampered currently. You need to city quickly, and you're at 5 VP. If you're blue, you're falling behind really quick. Now red here claims back longest road, so very good stuff. I think 8 roads is going to be hard to compete with. I think the only person in position is orange, but still the road production is just not there for these other 2 players like it is for red. And the road production is there for blue, but they just can't connect, right? So they're going to be kind of separated into 2 different islands. And orange here extending, going to 7. But think about that. If they had built that road there instead of going for the efficient settlement, they could have challenged red for maybe a little bit for longest road there. I don't know. It's just a really tough spot when red is having so much production here. And blue here trying to really get some sheep. Obviously the sheep production on this board is generally lacking, and red here has the best sheep spot, and I guess it's no coincidence that they're in the lead, right? But able to settle here does blue. And red here rolling a 7, placing on the 8 wheat, which makes sense. I agree with that block. And here at 9 VPs in a very secure spot, building another road, extending a road for them to 9. Now passing here. And a huge expensive city, but very much worth it. A huge mono, I think, capitalized on for sure. That releases the bottleneck that Steve would have once they built that settlement, that 5th settlement. So this is a really good spot to be in, but it just might be too little, too late, right? We just have to see like how this actually does play out in the long term. Now blue here, kind of just sitting on 8 resources. I don't know if they can do too much. Hopefully they have enough wheat to do something, but I'm not so sure. They're going to want a city very soon. They have 2 really good city spots, but again, it might be too little too late, and I think that's a VP that they have in their hand because they've held on to that for the entire game. And this whole block there, which I can agree with. I can get behind that, just to prevent the road production itself. Now another 7 rolled, and see, I disagree with that, but I do see the rationale. I think if you're hitting anything, it should be the ore. They have a lot of wheat production, and red isn't really affected by that block. Now red rolling a 7, putting it on the 8, and 2 ore for Steve here, rolling a cheeky 12 and a 7 right after. And red has some decisions to make. It's not super easy, but definitely the 6 ore would be the next best spot after the 8 wheat. Actually, 6 ore could be the best spot in general, just because that cuts off any ore production from the other 2 players altogether. Maybe that was the best spot all the whole time. 14 cards here for red. They just need to city, and settle, and they are in position to do so. 16 cards in hand. They survive the 7. Big turn incoming. And a settle, and that's a huge settle. Now they just need a city, and they can very much do that with the 3-for-1 port. The end seems inevitable here, unless orange is able to somehow find a way to challenge for longest road. 13 cards now, a huge 9 here for red. 18 cards, another 9, and stealing from red, but it won't be enough unless they roll 7. So we're gonna see. Maybe this could be the last turn. We'll see if the 7 comes, and it does, and that's a hugely timed 7. Really bad luck. But able to place the robber. I think it should go on the 6 ore, honestly, but I can understand the 8 wheat block. And 10 cards here for red. Can they do enough to buy a city? And they can, and they do, and that's absolutely massive. 1 more VP to go for red, and it's gonna have to be longest road if these other 2 players want a chance. So if I'm blue, I would actually feed orange road resources as possible, so that road can be potentially taken. 3 roads is all that's needed, so could be done. And Dylan here in a really solid spot. 6 cards in hand, choosing to pass, but the end is still inevitable. Stealing from red here, buying a dev card, nothing useful. And 9 cards here for Dylan. Will it be enough? Not quite, but and now that will certainly be enough. 6 ore in hand, probably has at least 1 wheat, can definitely trade. They're gonna hope that they don't 7 out, but this is looking over. And a huge steal at the very last second. Absolutely massive move by Steve to use that dev card, build the 2 roads, and then build the other road that they had in hand. So that was 3 roads. That was exactly what they needed to make that happen. And 11 roads is the length to beat, and we're gonna see if red is in position to do it. Just so many resources. 15 resources in hand. Taking a wood. I think this is where they take back longest road. And they will. And still, though, a huge turn that saved the game for 1 turn, and absolutely massive move by orange here. I love the fighting back. This is great. And 3 dev cards in hand, maybe can do some damage here. Will need to do everything they can to stop red here. Red is on the verge. Can settle or city for win. Very expensive city, I think, income. And just a dev card, actually. So just probably wanting to get under 2 dev cards. Okay, so I can totally get that, and making sure they get under 7, but not much they can do here. And red here with a really nice spot. Okay, and a settle for orange. I think giving up on the race for road. Four dev cards in hand for oh, and yeah, just not quite enough. Building the city easily. But it was so close. Look at how close that was. That's crazy. That's crazy. 4 VPs in hand. Blue had 4 VPs in hand. It was so much closer than we ever thought. And I totally thought it was. And that's why. That's why it's like always a game, right? You never know. That's crazy that they had 4 VPs in hand. Yeah, let's just look at the map at the end there. And just an absolute crazy map. Like, one more city does it, and they definitely have the resources to get there. They have the weed port. I'm surprised that they didn't. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm surprised that they did not win this game as close as they were. They were just a few rolls away. Orange was extending the game for both of them, but it was really for blue in that case. That's crazy. I really thought blue was out of it. These were such expensive settles, and they were so late that I just didn't think that they had a chance. They did have the compatible sheep production, and comparable, in fact, in production to the 8 there. So I don't know. Maybe it was all right. I don't know. I'm surprised by how close this was, but that's how it is. That's how the playing games are. Everyone's really good, and that's what we expect to see. And I'm glad that I got to watch this one. I hope you guys had fun. This is Playing 1, Playing 2 coming next, and I will see you guys for that. Peace.